All right, hello, welcome to the podcast. Um, my name is Nick. Today we are going to be talking about just some of my old job stories. I'm 20-ish years old. Um, I've had quite a few fast food jobs and stuff like that over time. So today we are going to talk about some of that and just some of the dumb shit I got up to with people I worked with and stuff like that. Um, so I'm just going to start out with I worked at a brand new Sprouts in Hodunk Town in the middle of nowhere outside of Phoenix. Did that for a couple of months. Nothing too much to talk about there. Um, and then after I quit that job, I worked at a Subway. I feel like everybody's worked at a Subway at one point or another. I hated Subway. I got robbed by a meth head while I was there. Well, the store got robbed. I didn't get robbed specifically. I was in the back. Well, yeah, I was in the back. The first real job that I would say I spent a lot of time at would be Chipotle. And like Chipotle, everyone thinks that working at Chipotle is a dope ass job, and it can be, but it's definitely a make or break kind of thing. Um, like who you have on shift is definitely gonna make or break like if you hate that job or not. Um, so yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people I did enjoy. Some people quit like as soon as I started. People quit. I tend to have that effect on places. I swear to God, it's like everyone I like leaves, and then more people I like come in. But maybe that's just me as a person. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of cool shit happened. A lot of experiences happened. I like got my first speeding ticket, first criminal speeding ticket. When I was working at Chipotle, because I had a late shift. I stayed out with some people from work afterward. So I didn't wake up in the morning for school, and I was late, so I was going like 65 and a 45 or some shit. And this cop clocked me. I had a clean record at the time, like traffic wise, so he didn't make it a criminal speeding ticket because I was young too. I was like 17. Um, so he let me get by. I didn't have tits, so I didn't get out of the ticket, but I did get to just kind of skate by with something that should have been criminal, and I really should have been in a lot more trouble. So I actually appreciate that cop a whole lot, because he definitely could have arrested me on the spot for how fast I was going. But with that being said, Chipotle was just it was an experience. Um, so in that same vein, like maybe the same week when I was in school. This is while working at Chipotle. I talked about this in the last podcast. Our last episode. I accidentally slipped my own wrist in. Oh wow. Neighbors' dogs are outside. They're being loud as fuck. Fuck you, neighbors. Anyway. Um. Yeah, I slipped my own wrist on accident with a switchblade. Got suspended for it because of just it was kind of one of those things where you bring a knife to school and someone finds out about it, you don't necessarily get off from it. Uh, but yeah, that was kind of a shitty time. Uh, but that's life, isn't it? Sometimes things go shitty. Um, so at Chipotle, I made some friends. I'm gonna say their names because they're never gonna listen to this. I don't talk to half of them anymore anyway. Um, one of them was named Jake. One of them was named Avery. Really good friends of mine. I still kind of vaguely talk to Avery like once a year. But Jake is the man who introduced me to Tree. Um, he's the first time I burned, if you get what I mean. It's legal in Arizona, so come at me. You can't. Uh, this is also like years ago at this point. Yeah, the first time I ever got high was with him at his house. I just went over there. We hung out, and I smoked weed for the first time, and it was crazy. The first experience is always wild, I think. Um, I wouldn't really know with any other drugs because I don't fuck with that shit anymore. But you know, I never did drugs really either. Uh, that was disgusting. Let me preface this with I ate a bag of gum, like a big ass bag of gummy worms before I recorded this. So if I puke, don't be surprised, because I won't be surprised. It's probably the only thing giving me the energy to do this right now. But in the same ballpark as that, we had all been friends for a little bit. There's a couple other people involved in this like friend group, but they're not as important to these stories. So we all planned a day trip without my girlfriend at the time. I don't remember why she couldn't come. I think she had school and I didn't or something, or I don't know. It was a day trip. I got to Avery's house at like 6 in the morning. It was fucking crazy. I've never been up that early to do anything. Except to work, really. So there's this city a little past where I live, and by little I mean like 50 plus miles, called Pine Top out here in Arizona. It's kind of on the mountains. I don't know. Honestly. I couldn't really tell you. I'm not really good with like where those things are. I know it's not near Flagstaff, though. I don't think. I think it's the opposite direction of Flagstaff. So, dude, I just keep getting Snapchats from people I just don't want them from. And like I can say this because nobody's gonna know who's Snapchatting me at this point, because nobody knows when this was made. This could have been made on a Monday. This could have been made on a fucking Sunday morning. You never know. With me, it's probably a Sunday morning, because I'm just really bad at getting things done ahead of time. So anyway, going to Pine Top, drove out there. The drive was dope. I mean, I like road trips and stuff. I like day trips. I took a day trip to Flagstaff once. I want to go to Sedona for a little bit, but so does every other white girl. It doesn't make me special. But yeah, we went up to Pine Top. His family had a cabin up there, so we were all just like hanging out at the cabin, whatever. We bought snacks ahead of time because we were gonna get stoned up in Pine Top, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. We're gonna get stoned in this cabin. That'll be dope. Take a nap, go home. Well, we went hiking, and then we got stoned, and I had never. This is like the second time I think I've ever smoked weed, so I had never tried wax before. I didn't really know what any of this stuff was back then. And I went ahead and dabbled in it, and it fucked me up. I was fucking out for like 2 hours. I slept so fucking hard. Then they woke me up to just drive back, and I fucking slept in the car. I was fucked up. I was so fucked up. It was kind of funny though. Like I don't think they exist anymore, but there were photos of me just fucking zonked out in this car, dude. It was so fucking funny. Other than like when it comes to Chipotle, I didn't really have a lot, because a lot of it just kind of ties into like my ex, and that's not really something I want to talk about at all, really. 'Cause a lot of that shit happened while I was working at Chipotle. We did have this thing called Broomball, which I only got to play once, because I think it was like a yearly, or maybe every 6 months. I kind of came in between, and so Broomball is this thing where it's hockey but without padding or pucks. It's with a softer like ball and hockey sticks. And you just go out, and no skates, nothing. You just go out on the ice. You bust your ass. You have some fucking fun, dude. I wanna like would love to do that with the people I work with now, because I work at a garage now, so that would be like crazy. We'd probably get hurt a lot more. Like, I busted my fucking knee hard. I couldn't unbend my knee for like ever I was like limping at work for a long fucking time after this game. Um, so it was fun though. It was a fun game. Um, just something to do. Really, like just to get the whole team out. They did stuff for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I think I came in right around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like I remember going to the Christmas party, but not really being part of it because I had just come into working there shortly before that. When it comes to Chipotle, that's really all I have on Chipotle because I didn't really. I worked there for like a year, but I didn't really do a lot of the stuff. Like I worked and like went home, hung out with the girlfriend at the time, kind of thing, and that was it. I didn't really do a lot of extracurriculars when it came to Chipotle. Because I was weird and awkward still in high school. I was too young for a lot of it. Just whatever. I mean, still did what I could, kind of thing. I also spent like 3 months grounded because I got myself suspended for cutting the shit out of my wrist at school because I'm an idiot. Um, the next place I worked was a deli. I'm not going to say which specific deli because I don't want to get like. It's a smaller business, so I don't want to get in trouble for it. But just in case, I'm covering my ass here. But if you know me personally, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't know me personally, you don't need to know what I'm talking about because the stories don't matter like that anyway. You don't need to know where I was working. Well, I mean, it's deli. Like, you can go from there. So, I mean, this is when the Flagstaff trip happened, and there's a funny story that goes with that. When I went to Flagstaff, and this is like in the middle of when I worked there, when I went to Flagstaff, I had an insane fever. I woke up fucking ill. Like, I was sick as fuck. But I wanted to go. I still wanted to go because it was like a day trip I had planned out, and I really wanted to go and explore, like, Inner Flagstaff. So, and I had never been there, so I was like, I have to go. I can't replan this, whatever. I took the day off way in advance. So I was going. I was going regardless of if I felt good, bad, whatever. So I went up to Flagstaff. I drove there, bought some like Advil to like try to make it through the day, get the fever down, whatever. Gatorade. I think I bought some cold meds. I spent like $30 at a gas station just on medicine and Gatorade to try to survive. So I mean, it was like literally a trip of death. Not in like an acid way, but like in a fucking. I thought I was gonna die. I woke up the next day. Um, fucking sick out of my mind still. Like, I could not move, like, because I had just stayed out too late. I had fucking been sick, whatever. It was like I could not move because I fucking gone up. I wasn't wearing a jacket. It was that, and it was snowing. It was snowing, and I wasn't wearing a jacket. Like, I fucked myself up even more by doing that kind of thing. So, I got written up for being sick, but they like said to my face, they were like, "Yeah, we're writing you up because you called out sick, and we don't think you were telling the truth." Mind you, I still sound like shit the day that they're saying they're writing me up for being sick. So they're like, "Yeah, we're not gonna write you up for being sick though, because we can't do that. We're gonna write you up for a dirty uniform because we had these aprons that they wanted us to clean them every day, but it's like I'm working in a kitchen or I was working in a dish pit. My shit got dirty and I was not gonna fucking clean it every day. That's ridiculous. Like, I probably sound like a little bitch saying that, but that's so unnecessary. I think that's so fucking unnecessary to expect your employees to just wash their shit every day. You gave me 5 shirts, but you gave me 1 apron. Like, it's gonna get dirty. I'm gonna wash it once a week. I lived with my parents, and still, I couldn't like do a load of laundry every day without getting my ass beat. Like a normal fucking family. Just who the fuck does laundry every day? But other than that, really, this place was wild. I got food poisoning from our own food 3 times in 3 months. Like, I spent a week like a week out of every month just sick as fuck from our own food. And like, there was a reason behind that, obviously. Like, you could probably figure that out, but it was bad, dude. I got so fucking sick for just like a week at a time, and I still had to work because I couldn't afford not to work, and they wouldn't give me like paid sick time. So I was like, time to go to work and kill people. And this is a point where me and my cousin and his girlfriend at the time were all working together, and that was just a shit show. Because when they ended up breaking up, it just kind of went to shit at the store. Like the actual deli was kind of in like a whose side are you on kind of thing. And of course, I'm picking the ex's side. I don't know why. I was stupid as fuck. I think I almost threw up on that. So I mean, like me and my cousin got into a huge fight over this. Like I went to his house to kick his ass, shit like that. Never happened. He wasn't home. But like, it was bad. We got into some big ass fights over this fucking chick because she just turned us against each other. Because she was lying, he was, whatever. I look for the good in people, and I should sometimes. And I know that. Oh, dude, this is the time, too, where my ex would come into lunch. Because the deli I worked at was not far from the school she went to. Because she was a cosmetologist or whatever. And her school was, like, down the street from where I worked. So she would come in for lunch when I was working. And try to eat with me if I was ever on break. But I never was. So I was really good friends with the two girls who worked up front because I worked with them every day. I was trying to be a manager at this place. So I was working like every position 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was there all the fucking time. And I just remember her coming in and being just such a bitch to one of my friends because she thought she was pretty and I was not interested. I'm a committed, loyal human being when I'm in a relationship. So I was not, I was just friends with her. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, she's so she's so fucking hot, bro. Like, damn, dude, like, she's so fucking hot. Like, why I want to fuck her? No, it was just friends with her, and she came in and was just like such a bitch. And then I got talked to about it because my friend's like, the fuck was that about? I'm like, dude, I don't know. She's so insecure. Thinking I'm cheating on her with you guys, both of you at the same time. That's just like so. That's too much work. That's 3 girlfriends. Who fucking handle that? I can barely handle one at this time. I couldn't even handle the one I had. What makes her think I could handle 2? God damn. I wish I was Superman, but I'm not. But yeah, I just remember her coming in and just starting some shit with these girls. One was named Ash. That was, like, not a real name. But she hated her. Like, she just absolutely hated her. Because she was a pretty girl. Like, just an average pretty white girl, whatever. But I was just not interested. I was just there. Like, I was, like, there. Kind of hanging out, whatever. And just hung out with her. I never hung out with her outside of work. We were just buddies at work. We'd eat lunch together. I'd go home, whatever. Because we got off at the same time because we worked the same position. It was just, one of those things where it was, we just were close because of the time frame. Like, if we hadn't worked together, we never would have been friends, ever. But that is what it is. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I should have been trusted, I shouldn't have been, whatever. I should have been trusted. Like, I am saying that. But that's not my place to kind of decide, I guess. But yeah, I mean, and I quit that job in the most shitty way possible, but I quit because I was working 2 jobs at this point, trying to just, like, make ends meet, because this job was not paying me enough to do what I was doing. So, I got a second job. Oh, that hurts. I got a second job at a pizza place, like a family-owned pizza place out here in Arizona. And, I just remember they did not believe me that I had 2 jobs. They thought I was lying, and they sent somebody to come see if I actually worked there. They paid them while on the clock as well to come check and see if I actually work where I said I worked, and I was there, obviously, because I do work there. So, again, just to avoid anything, I'm not going to name names of any places. But yeah, I quit this deli by, other than Chipotle, because it's a big corporate company. I quit the deli by I texted him. I texted him the day after, like a couple days after they wrote me up, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not coming in anymore. I have another job. You guys are assholes. Like, you said I was not sick. I was fucking dying. I was so sick. I shouldn't have been working, blah, blah, blah." And I never came back. Got my last paycheck. I went in there recently to get my W-2 from them. But that was it. I mean, they were super nice, but I think it was more of a professionalism thing than oh, I genuinely like seeing you kind of thing. Which is fine. I don't care. Fuck them. Like, who cares? Um, So my interview at this pizza place was like the most non-interview thing ever. I went in there in like a fucking t-shirt, I had earrings, my tattoos were all exposed. It was dumb. I was just like, "What up? What up? Hi, my name's Nick. I want to make pizzas." I was hired. Like, literally, he didn't even really ask me questions. And then he said, when he hired me, "We're gonna try it out for a couple weeks, see what happens. You'll get paid." I ended up staying there for like 6 months probably, because that place was so fucked up. That place was so fucked up, dude. It's just so bad. The kitchen manager was kind of a fucking pervert. Like, he just loved creeping on any girl that came in that place. And we had all female waitresses, except for we had a gay dude, but he got fired because he was gay. Because the manager, well, the owner of the store was just homophobic, and that's whatever. That's not okay. But I mean, there was nothing I could do about it except just be like, "That's kind of fucked up and not right." But yeah, I mean, the kitchen manager would hit on girls, like any of the girls that came in. Like, me and my ex worked to get together at this place. She's like, just if you and your girlfriend or boyfriend can work in the same place, just don't. Just don't do it. It's not as fun as you think. Because then at that point, you're hanging out with them. And if you live with them, and you work with them. You never get a break from them, and you can't, go do whatever at work alone. You are consistently with that person forever. And it's just nuts. It's not fun. Who wants to be with a person just 24/7? I love, 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 love hanging out with people, but I cannot do the 24/7 thing. I could live with somebody, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, at least then I get it, like, "Oh, I'm going to work. I won't see you until 6 tonight," kind of thing, versus fucking, "Oh, hey, we work at the same time. Let's take a ride together, and then we'll sleep in the same bed, and we'll..." No. God, no. But yeah, the kitchen manager hit on my girlfriend in front of me multiple times. And it was just one of those things where it's like, I can't fucking do anything, because if I do anything, I lose my job, and this was the only thing supporting me at this point. Barely supporting me. Barely making ends meet. Dude barely paid us, and he was definitely, like, skimming off the top of my checks. I swear to God. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a whatever. Yeah, the whole time this kitchen manager was in a relationship, just... She would come in, and she was friends with all of us and everything, and it's just so fucked up to watch. You can't say anything because you don't want to lose your job, and that's just kind of how this place was. It was just so tight knit that, like, if you were an outsider, you were losing your job. There was no, you either worked with everybody or you got cut. And I just was really good at getting along with people at this point, so I just meshed my way into it and kind of dealt with it. This is when I met a guy who we're just going to call Metalhead. And Metalhead threw parties all the time, but I got invited to one this time. This was like a random night. He was sitting at the bar, he came in, and then I got invited to the party because I was at the bar hanging out with him. Because I was, working, but it was slow, so he was like, "Hey, you're Chody's friend." Chody's the kitchen manager. "You're Chody's friend. You want to..." Chody's not his real name. It's just, you could probably figure out what his real name is. "You want to come over and hang out with us?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds dope." Me and my girlfriend at the time went. Dude, I was already fucking sick. I was so fucking sick. I had, like, again, running maybe not a fever at this point, but my throat was fucked up. I was coughing, whatever. I wasn't sneezing anymore. I just had a bad throat thing going on at this point. And Jesus Christ, it was such a dumb idea because I was up too late, obviously. I already hadn't slept much because I was sick the night before. And then my throat the whole time is just fucked. Like my throat is so sore, and I'm drinking. Like I'm going out drinking, and it's not helping. It's just the alcohol dehydrates you, I'm pretty sure, and it just made it so much worse. This was my first time ever getting drunk too, and I was doing it at a party full of people who were experienced drinkers. Um, I didn't black out though. I didn't puke. None of that. I wasn't even like that hungover the next day. I drank a lot of fucking beer. Um, like Jesus Christ, dude, it was so bad. Which this makes me remember, like, I went to another party. I really sound like a partier, but honestly, this is like the biggest parties I've ever gone to in the last 5 years, kind of thing. I don't party a lot. I don't like partying. Um, but my ex at the time, before we both worked at this pizza place, she worked at a Five Guys, had a bunch of friends from Five Guys who they were throwing a party. So we're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to this party with her because she asked me to go with her. There's people doing like coke in the bathroom and shit, and just the regular shit that goes on at parties like this, which is bad people. Um, well, I drank like a beer that night, and then me and her went like shot for shot because I had to beat her out. I had to do more shots than her. So 13 shots of vodka later, some amount of shots of rum because at this point it's like fading. I'm fucking blackout drunk and I just don't remember how I got home. I don't remember, to her place. I don't remember how I got there. I don't remember anything in between fucking like 1 a.m. probably and just noon the next day. I found a picture recently that I took that night and I'm just so fucked up in it. You could just look at me and go, wow, yeah, you're fucked, dude. Um, it's kind of funny to look at because I don't remember ever taking the picture, and I found it the other day, just digging through my like Snapchat memories, and it was there. Uh, yeah, fuck that, fuck that shit. Um, but yeah, going back to the whole like working with your girlfriend thing though, like it was awkward because she would get into fights with me while we were working. Like she'd come in pissed at me, or she'd come in like, whatever at me. And it was so fucking weird because she would just like get into these like domestic arguments in front of people at the bar and shit like that with me. And I'm like, dude, we're working. Like, can we do this when we go home later? And she just didn't get it. That's honestly like the biggest issue is we would just fight all the time while we were working. Um, she ended up staying longer at this place than I did because I quit. I got a job at the garage I'm at now. While I was still working there, so my last shift there, I clocked in. I was like 20 minutes late, so I clocked in, did it, whatever. The new guy, there was a new guy that I was supposed to be training that day, but I was quitting. We had like a 50 top coming in, so we had like 50 people coming in at the same time, and I remember I chose this day to quit because I was like, it'll really fuck them over and really it'll get back at them because of all the shit that they had done to me up to this point. So I went in, I started like making dough or something, and I was like, I finished that process, and I left the new guy by himself in the store. I just left the new guy because I had to go fill out paperwork at like 2 o'clock or something, and I got there at 1. So I went to the garage, I filled out the paperwork, I came back, and the chody had showed up for work finally. I beat him there. I shouldn't have. He was supposed to be there way before I was, and he never was. So yeah, chody's back. Whatever. He's cutting up the dough that I had made. I'm putting my apron back on. Blah blah blah. And then the owner comes in and he sees me like trying to help them prep. He's like, "Yeah, no, we don't need you here today." And I was like, "Okay, cool, bye." Dropped my shit and left. Straight up dropped whatever I was doing and just left. Took my apron off, dropped it in the kitchen, left. I had no interest. I didn't care. Cool, you don't need me. You're fucking yourself. That's fine. Go ahead. Um, and it's whatever. Shit happens, and he just didn't get that. he didn't really let you have a life outside of that job. So, you know, I'm going to take a quick break to get a drink and everything, and then we will go on with the show. We're going to go into our serious topic of the show today, which is going to be toxic people, but I'm going to take a break and take a sip of water. So I will be back in no time for you, like 10 seconds for me. So quick pause here. Alright, that seems like nothing for you guys, but for me it was a good like 5 minutes. I had to tend to a wound on my hand a little bit, because I had a lug nut explode in my hand the other day from the fucking air gun I was using. It was just a shitty lug and it blew up in my hand, so I have a gash in my finger. It's closed, but it hurt. So I was cleaning it out and shit, but so our serious topic of the day, because I felt like I did this last episode too, but I think I talked about like feminism or something. No, I talked about dating. So today we're going to talk about another dating topic, because I wanted this podcast to be funny but have some serious stuff to it, because, one of my cousins a lot more like jokes and funny stories and nothing serious really. So, today we're going to talk about toxic relationships and just toxic people in general, and when to cut them out, which is right away. Just cut out toxic people as soon as you realize they're toxic, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in some shit that you don't want to be in. So, we're going to talk about some signs of a toxic relationship, just from my experience, which is, the first one here I have is, they make you cut people off. When you have friends for years and years and years, and they're the opposite gender or the same gender, and they don't want you to talk to them anymore just because they're afraid of other people's opinions being involved in your life and stuff like that, that's a huge, huge red flag for you to just go and say, nah, some people have insecurities. Like, if you have a friend that's your ex and they're like, hey, I don't want you to talk to that person anymore, I get that. I understand that entirely. Personally, I just don't give a fuck enough for you to, lose friends over me. Your life before me should continue on, unless you were hoeing around or something, but, for the most part, if they're making you cut off people you've been friends with for years. I had a friend that I have been friends with this chick since I came out of the womb. We're around the same age. She's a year older than me. I popped out of the womb to her friend, or the womb, not her wound, not the wound. Her friend, we've just been, lifelong friends. And I cut her off for 2 years. 2 years because I was in a relationship. And, the person was just insecure and didn't want me to be friends with them. Because, again, just a pretty girl. But I have no interest. She's my sister, basically. I'm not trying to fuck my sister. Okay? That can be used out of context. I realize that now. I'm thinking about editing that out, but I won't. It's just one of those things where if they're making you cut out people who've been in your life forever, you don't need them in your life. That's just not something. They're not looking out for you, You probably heard that, and it's disgusting, but I don't feel good right now. I ate a huge bag of gummy worms before doing this, and sugar itself just kind of fucks me up, but my stomach feels like complete and utter shit because I'm dehydrated and I just ate sugar out the ass for the last hour because I'm a child or an adult who can do what he wants, because he can buy a whole bag of gummy worms and eat them. Except now I kind of want to throw them up to make myself feel better. The second sign I have written here, again, just these are all based off experience. I'm not a therapist. I'm not nothing. I'm not someone I really trust, other than I just have experience. They won't let you be alone. They never want you to be alone, because if you're alone, you can cheat or whatever. In my case, when I was alone, I played video games a lot. That's it. I didn't do a lot of shit. Played video games, played, music, whatever, because I play guitar and I sing and stuff like that. And totally don't check out my SoundCloud. Blackwood Rapper. There is rap on there, but I also sing. So, don't check that out. No shameless plug here. Um, but they just won't let you be alone because they're afraid that you're doing something they don't want you to do, and that's just not the case at all. 95% of the time, you're just kind of doing your own thing. When you don't text back, they get pissed. Yada yada yada, all that shit. Or even better, you're out with family or something, and they're blowing your phone up because you're just enjoying yourself with your family and not responding because you're just enjoying the company you have, and they're losing their mind over it. Nothing you need out of that. Here's my favorite one: the always assuming you're cheating. I went through a lot where, because I had female friends, because I just get along with girls a lot. I'm not trying to get in with them, whatever. I get along with girls. Not so much anymore. Now that I've been working in the garage environment and everything, I get along with dudes a lot better than girls now. And just because I'm able to be my own free person and stuff, and be in an environment that I don't really feel caged in. I don't get along with girls as much anymore. But they always assume you're cheating. Just the whole, let me check your phone, let me know the password to your phone. If they make you put their fingerprint in your phone and you're not really agreeable to that, I don't really care. But if that's not something you want and they make you do it, that's just another sign to not be with that person, because it's just so much privacy invasion. Just privacy invasion out the ass if they make you do it. If you're like, hey, you can put your fingerprint in my phone because, I have nothing to hide. That's fine. But it's when they make you do it or make you feel like you have to do it, and it's just not something, it's just not healthy. You don't need to keep tabs on somebody 24/7. And I mean that to a crazy point. Share your location with me. Oh, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Same thing I was doing 5 minutes ago. I'm sitting here watching fucking a movie with my cousin, who's a dude. You gotta specify that shit. They say they're looking out for your best interest, but they're not. Everything's for your best interest. I'm doing this for your best interest. I'm doing this for... No, you're not. You're just doing it because you want the control of everything I'm doing. Quit your job because I'm thinking, you could do something better. Yeah, I could, but I still need to pay my bills. Get a new car because I don't like your current one. I think it'd be better if you got a new car. No, you just want to be able to drive my new car. Stuff like that where they're like, hey, do this. It's for your best interest, but it's only going to benefit them, kind of thing. Not really you. And the biggest point I can make here, and I will live by this forever. If your parents, in my case, my mom, if your mom doesn't like somebody, you don't need to be with them, because dude, mom's instinctive as fuck. Okay, they actually are looking out for your best interest a good chunk of the time, and if they don't like the person you're with, you shouldn't like the person you're with. At that point, that's how I gauge it, dude. You meet my mom, if she hates you, you're probably a bad person. I'll still be with you because I'm an idiot, but my mom doesn't hate a lot of people, so if my mom doesn't like you, it's a good chance that you're probably a bad person. So, yeah, that's, it's probably spooky for some people, but don't be scared. My mom's chill as fuck. If you ever meet her, she's dope as shit. But, it'll be obvious she doesn't like you. You don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just, life isn't that hard, but when you have these toxic people who just drag your ass down and make you feel like shit when they're supposed to be your significant other, especially, just cut that shit out. You don't need it. You can be happier elsewhere or by yourself even. Just get rid of that. Get rid of that negative energy, because you don't need it. You don't need it in your life, and there's no reason to have it if you don't need it. You might have a toxic person in your life who's family. You could still cut them out too. This is just, I'm talking about significant others, but when it comes to family is blood, but sometimes blood runs thin and you just have to, cut that person out, and that's fine, even if it's temporary until they can grow. It's fine to cut them out. But yeah, I mean that's a serious topic for today. Just don't let toxic people invade and just destroy your emotions and stuff like that. Usually this would be the point where I would go ahead, pop open an OkCupid question, but I actually deleted all my dating apps. So, because I met somebody pretty fucking dope, and I don't need dating apps anymore because I'm pretty set on this person because they're pretty dope and shit, and I like them a lot. It's cool. They're cool. They're funny. I'm into it. Um, so yeah, I don't have the dating apps anymore because it's dating apps are stupid as fuck anyway, dude. Dating apps are so fucking stupid. And like when I met a genuine person not on a dating app, so I got rid of them. No cringe, no cringy, overly political questions from OkCupid today, or probably ever for a while. Hopefully. I'm not Mr. I can't tell the future, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would know where I'm gonna be in 5 years. I don't though. That's what makes life fun, not knowing what's gonna happen. Uh, so yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave you on that note. It's kind of a weird one, but uh, you know, the moral of the story here today is just have fucking fun and enjoy yourself, and just go out there and kill life. Just go out there and fucking rock that shit. Thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, once again, my name is Nick. This is called Sundays with Nick because I put it out. It's a podcast I put out weekly on a Sunday. Just talking about whatever's going on in my life or whatever I want to talk about that day. Like last week I covered UFC. This week I covered toxic relationships. Just kind of depends on the day of the week, what I'm feeling. I kind of write out a list of things I want to touch on. This week happened to be a lot more just job related jokes, and well, not jokes but stories. There weren't a lot of jokes in this one. It's kind of sad. I wasn't really a funny guy this time. This was really more straight shooter. Hey, what's up? My name is Nick, and this is what I did with my life for the last year and a half or two. But yeah, just moral of the story: have some fucking fun, dude. Um, so yeah, thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, drop me a comment, a like, a subscribe, whatever you're feeling. I'm not greedy. I'll take what I get. Fuck it, drop a dislike if you want. If you liked it and you didn't like it, just drop that opinion down below. Um, I'll have links to my social media and shit. So yeah, thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your whatever time of day it is. Bye bye.